Well, welcome to another episode of News from the Nations. We're going to get started with our episode here in just a few minutes. My name is Brandon. I'm actually a pastor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I also serve on the board of Children of the Nations, and I'll be your host for today's show. Glad to have you with us on this live broadcast. I'm entitling this show The Smile Show because there are so many things you're going to see today that are just going to make you smile. Children of the Nations, if you're not familiar with it, it's a nonprofit Christian organization, works in 5 different countries. They serve orphan and destitute children. They provide holistic care. They don't just drop resources off and leave. They stay, they build relationships, and make a difference in each one of these countries. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's a fantastic organization. So if this is being shared with you and this is just new to you, you're going to hear some great things and see some kids smiling, and I promise you're going to smile. Like I said, I'm calling this the Smile episode of News from the Nations. So before we get into our content today, I just want to remind you of a few things that I want to invite you to do. Number one, I want to invite you to follow Children of the Nations on social media. You can like our Facebook page. Maybe you're even watching this in our Facebook page, but make sure you've liked that page and you're following this page. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Maybe you're watching this on YouTube. We have a great YouTube channel that we populate with videos and great encouraging things. You can do that. Children of the Nations is on Twitter. They're on Instagram. They're on LinkedIn. They're on MySpace. I'm kidding. They're not on MySpace. That's not even a thing anymore. But there's all kinds of social media channels, and whatever one you use the most, or maybe you just want to see some great content. You want to see some smiling kids. Maybe you want to keep up with this show, News from the Nations. We would love for you to be a part and follow us on social media. Again, my name is Brandon. If you just missed the start of our episode, we've got 2 chat hosts in the chat room today. We've got Bryce Clark and we've got Heather Fernandez. Heather and Bryce both are on staff at Children of the Nations. They're incredible people who have committed their lives to serve and love orphan and destitute children. How awesome is that? Will you say hi to them in the chat room right now, wherever that is from here? Will you say hi to them, and just in that chat room, just greet them. They're going to say hi to you. They're going to be putting links in there and connecting with you, and they'd love to get to know you and answer any questions that you have about Children of the Nations. Today's show is going to be all about helping you know and see how you can make a difference just in your home. From your home, how you can make a difference in the world. It's going to be amazing. We've got some great stories, some great testimonies, some great video from multiple different countries to share with you. I cannot wait for you to see this episode of News from the Nations. Will you just take a moment right now, though, before we start and share this video? We just click on share right now and put it out there and say, hey, join me right now. We're live for News from the Nations. Or maybe text a friend and say, hey, you got to see this. You got to jump on with me right now and watch this. This is awesome. We would love for you to do that. So we're going to get started with our episode, News from the Nations. So glad that you're here in what I'm calling the Smile episode, because today is just going to make you smile. Welcome to News from the Nations. So excited to have you with us today. My name is Brandon. I'm actually a pastor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I also serve on the board of Children of the Nations, this organization, and I'm so excited to share some of the content that we have with you today, news from many different places and great things happening. And during this episode, what we want to do is we want to invite you to consider making a difference and show you some things that you can do to make a difference in a child's life from your own living room. How you can literally change the trajectory of an orphan and destitute child from your own home while you're sitting here on quarantine and kind of trying to stay healthy. So as I said earlier in our intro, I'm calling today's show the Smile episode because we want to help share smiles and bring smiles to kids all around the world. And we believe that's going to happen today as a result of some of the ideas you're going to hear, and then you're going to put into practice and bring some smiles to kids in the different countries where Children of the Nation serves. And I know you're going to love to see some of the content and stories we have today. Well, we're going to go to Malawi to start today's show, and we're going to hear from Francisco and Blendina. Blendina is a little girl who's sponsored. She's one of the Children of the Nation's kids, and Francisco is a staff member in Malawi who's going to kind of ask her the difference that child sponsorship has made in her life. And that is one thing you can do from your own home. you can sponsor a child. And when you do that, you literally change their life forever. You change their story forever. And you're going to see in this interview that we just got from Malawi the difference it's making. So let's go to Malawi right now and hear from Francisco.
There's a proverb in Africa. It says, when you educate a girl child, you educate a nation. My name is Francisco Kalima, and I work with Children and Nations, Malawi. And today we are in a village called Nsiriza, where we get to know Blandina. Hello, Bobo. What's your name?
My name's Blandina Madem.
Blandina Madem. Blandina Madem, who do you want to become? What's the kind of school?
Positive.
She would like to be a teacher. Why do you want to be why do you want to be a teacher? She would like to become a teacher because she wants to educate other people. Imagine a girl like Blandina who has a future. Imagine Blandina having that goal in life while she's young like this, of becoming a teacher and transform a nation. How can Blandina reach her fullest potential? It's when you give support to Blandina. It's when you sponsor Blandina. It's when you take time to think about Blandina and even praying for her. The support and sponsorship that you give to Blandina will meet the following. Will meet her education. Will meet her to have food every day. Will make sure that Blandina have clothes. Will make sure that Blandina is going to a better clinic, which means she'll grow up and she'll also make sure that she's in a safe place. If you can support Blandina, it will mean that you support a nation. It will mean that you have given transformation to a nation, and through her, she can change her family, her siblings, and even her even the COTN as well. Thank you so much for supporting Children and Nations, and I hope you get to know Blandina if you choose her to sponsor and giving her support for her to meet her fullest potential. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
It was so good to hear from Francisco and to hear Blandina just share the difference that sponsorship has made in her life. When you sponsor a child, like I said earlier, it literally changes their life. I've seen it time and time again. There's nothing better than visiting one of our countries and looking one of our kids in the face and say, hey, I know your sponsor and they love you. And one of the most fun things to do when you sponsor a child is write letters. I've been writing letters to the child that we sponsor in Uganda for years. I've actually got them here. This is all the letters that we've ever received. These are so fun. Just all the different letters. Here's one from 2013 from Christmas, and it's fantastic. It just says, Brandon and Irene, words cannot express how thankful I am for what God is doing in my life through your family. It encourages me that there is someone somewhere who cares and loves me. May God bless your family. I pray for you daily. And she goes on. And it's fantastic. She drew, there's a little picture on there. I'm telling you, when you send a letter, it changes a kid's whole day and a whole month and a whole year. And when you receive these letters, man, it just warms your heart. There was one time in Uganda that I encountered a child who was wearing a backpack, and they wore this backpack everywhere, and I kept seeing them with the backpack, and I asked them, why do you wear this backpack all the time? What's inside of it? I'm so curious. And this girl opened up the backpack and showed me, and it was full of letters, just like I showed you of mine. And she said, I keep these letters with me everywhere to remind myself to not give up in school, to keep pressing on, because there is someone who is supporting me, who's praying for me and loves me and cares for me. Incredible. So when you sponsor a child, or maybe you're currently a sponsor, I would encourage you to write your child at this time. You can go to our website and they'll put some links in the chat room how you can know how to write your child and connect with them, and just let them know that you're praying for them, you're encouraging them, and that you're here for them. Another thing you can do besides child sponsorship is something called SmilePacks. Okay, SmilePacks. Now I'm going to show you. I've got one right here on the floor. SmilePacks are basically big Ziploc bags that have got different items in them. This is a hygiene smile pack, for example. It's got shampoo and a little towel and toothpaste and soap and some other items in it. But SmilePacks are something that you can put together at home. And so I've invited Dave Schertzer, our Chief Resource Officer. That's an impressive title right there. But Dave is an incredible person. He's been working at Children of the Nations for many, many years. And he's just going to tell you a little bit more about SmilePacks and the difference they make in a kid's life.
Hey everyone, Dave Schertzer, Chief Resource Officer at Children of the Nations, and I want to share with you a practical way of being part of the effort to provide for our kids and our staff in our countries. Many of you are praying, giving to support the efforts of extending the feeding program to all the homes, providing for the lessons so the kids can still learn, and now there's a way in which you can help right at home. We'd like you to be part of our Hygiene Smile Pack Drive. They look like this. If you go to smilepacks.org, you can see the ingredients. It's easy to make. Love to have you guys make a few of these and send them in. And we have opportunities to send these packs overseas to provide for our kids the soap, the shampoo, the towel, the washcloth, so the kids can stay safe and protected. I just want to thank you on behalf of the kids and the staff and all of us here that you are continuing to support what we're doing. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Dave, for telling us a little bit more about SmilePacks and the big dreams and goals we have this year of getting thousands of SmilePacks in the hands of those kids. I can tell you, I've been in a Ugandan village and I've seen SmilePacks be delivered to families. And I know it's hard to believe, but these plastic bags of resources bring tears to people's eyes. It's incredible to see the difference a SmilePack can make. So you can make SmilePacks at home, you can send those to Children of the Nations, and you can bring smiles to kids all around the world. Now, the biggest question I get when it comes to like SmilePacks, like these down here, is people say, well, did they actually get there? And like I just told you, yes, they do. But people also ask, like, when it comes to sponsorship or these resources, do they actually get to the kids? And I just want you to know, yes, I've seen it with my own eyes. When you sponsor a child through Children of the Nations, I've seen time and time again a child who is sponsored and the trajectory of their entire life changes forever. They're filled with hope because they know someone is there praying for them and supporting them and encouraging them and helping them get to school and be healthy, and just they're receiving excellent holistic care from Children of the Nations thanks to the sponsorship. Now we've got Amy Thornton and her daughter Roxy who are going to speak with us next, and they're going to share about their experience. I can't wait for you to hear their story.
Hi, this is Amy
and Roxy,
coming to you from California, and we just wanted to share how much we love sponsoring kids through Children of the Nations.
This summer we took a trip to Malawi, and it was amazing because we finally got to meet our sponsor kids, Vicky and Veta, and it was amazing because we finally got to meet them after 8 years of sponsoring them.
Veta wants to be a nurse and Vicky wants to be a banker, and we're just so excited to support them in the next steps as God brings them through life. So we want to share a few videos and photos from our trip. Here you go.
Thank you, Amy and Roxy, for sharing your story with us. Now, each and every week on our episode, we always end with some incredible footage. Today, we're going to take you to Uganda. Before we do that, I just want to remind you of some ways you can bring a smile to a child anywhere around the world in the 5 different countries where Children of the Nation serves. You can sponsor a child, like we've talked about. If you go to cotni.org/children, there'll be a link in the chat room on YouTube or Facebook. You can sponsor a child today. You can begin writing letters to them and interacting with them and bringing hope to a child that desperately needs it. You can make some SmilePacks if you want to provide resources. That's something you can do if you have a family, some kids, or you can do in your home or with a group from a church or a community club. And you can put SmilePacks together and make that kind of a project. If you go to the link in the chat room, there'll be instructions there on how to learn more about the different SmilePacks. And maybe you get more excited about one than the other, but there are so many resources that you can contribute in that way. And finally, if you want to put a smile on our kids' faces, you can help protect them from COVID-19. You can also just help keep them healthy during the season, help our doctors and nurses by giving to our emergency health fund. It's cotni.org. If you go to the website, right at the top of the website or in the chat room right now, there's a link where you can give to the Emergency Health Fund. Listen, it's been an honor to host this show for the last few weeks. Next week, I believe Heather Fernandez is going to be your host. We'll have various hosts throughout the year, but as a board member and just a huge fan of Children of the Nations, it's been so much fun just to get to share a few stories about how this organization is making a difference. And I hope, whether you're new to Children of the Nations or this is brand new to you, I hope you'll get involved in some way and help bring smiles and hope so we can continue to raise children who transform nations. Now, speaking of that, let's go to Uganda as we finish out today's episode. And these kids are going to pray for us. You're going to be encouraged. And this will be just another moment for you to smile as we end this episode of News from the Nations. We'll see you next week for more News from the Nations. Now let's go to Uganda.
Heavenly Father, I thank you for your love for us. I thank you for our sponsors who pay our school fees, clothe us, and feed us. We ask, as children of the nations Uganda, to protect them from coronavirus, and if any of them is sick, Lord, heal them in the mighty name of Jesus. Protect their families, their businesses, and jobs. You are our shelter, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yes, God.